Hello, it's Michelle with Books Cause Insomnia. I'm here today to do a book tag. I was tagged back in December by Heather at Reading with a Vengeance. And this tag was originally created by Rosika at the Midnight Reader. This is called the Book Snack Tag. Number 1, Sweet, the chocolate chip cookie of books. A book that is warm-hearted, uplifting, and makes you less cynical about the world. I would have to say an entire series, which I think is even better if one is trying to feel uplifted and less cynical about the world. It's more to read, right? That would be this series back here. It's the Domestic Diva series by Krista Davis. This book happens to be my favorite one out of the series. So if you're not familiar with her, you could start here, and then if you enjoy the book, start at book 1 and move forward. I think this is number 13 or 14. There's quite a few books in the series, but they always make me feel happy and snuggly and wanting to cook and just feeling very comforted. Number 2, Salty, inherently craveable. Pick a book or series that you couldn't stop reading or reaching for. I'm going to go with the Alphabet series by Sue Grafton. That was one that I enjoyed so much, I decided to stop reading any new releases or book of the month books or anything until I was done with the whole series. And no other series has ever had that effect on me to where I had to keep going until I was done. Number 3, Cheesy, like Cheeto dust. You can't escape the cheese. Pick a book that you love because of or in spite of its cheesiness. Back in December, I did a buddy read with my friend Kristen over at Enter the Book, and it was Christmas Cupcake Murder by Joanne Fluke. It had to be the cheesiest book I've ever read. I did enjoy it though. Even with it being super cheesy and far-fetched, it kind of felt like a Lifetime movie or a Hallmark movie on steroids with how, that's okay, I'll help you, that every single character was. But it was kind of nice. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if it was that way? Just every time you walk out your door, your neighbors are waving and smiling and asking how your day is, and I'm going to the coffee shop, would you like me to get you some coffee while I'm there? That just doesn't sound like a world I've ever lived in, but it was kind of cheesy but fun. Number 4, Deep Fried. You bit too soon into the hot batter and got burned. Pick a book that hurt to read. Beloved by Toni Morrison. I don't know if you've ever read this book or not, but if you haven't, I definitely recommend it. It's a very good book. It's very beautiful, I think, in a tearing kind of way. There's abuse, there's trying to recover from abuse, there's depression. There is a strength and a stick-to-itiveness in this book that really stood out to me, and I just love this book. But it does hurt to read it. Number 5, Ice Cold. Sometimes the snack you want can only come from the deep freezer. Pick a book that transports you to a cold place. Okay, I've probably talked about this book 100 times, but The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. In this book, the protagonist travels to go meet this family that she didn't know that she had. And they live in this old mansion that has no electricity. And it's cold outside, it's snowing, there's ice everywhere, and she's up in this dank attic that has, I think, a broken window. It's been a couple of years now since I read it. I think it's got a broken window in it. And I was so physically cold while I was reading this book. It was kind of like today where I had to wear a bunch of layers and a scarf and really warm slippers, and I still wasn't warm enough. Okay. Today it's cold. I think it's really cold. It's been down in the 30s every night lately, and it just feels so cold to me, and it's been windy, and so I decided to wear a scarf today all day because it makes me feel a little bit warmer to have a warm neck. Number 6, sour. Some things are too sour to keep a straight face. Pick a book that made you make faces while you were reading it. Okay. The Undertaker's Daughter by John James Minster. The author sent me a copy of this book to read, and I genuinely loved it. It is a very scary horror novel. It's very graphic. It's very gross, and there's a lot of blood and guts and maggots and just bleh. And I was constantly making that face, just but it's a genuinely scary, creepy book. Kind of, I think the way I worded it was be what you would expect if Rob Zombie rewrote a Sweet Valley High book. Which, if you love horror, that probably sounds really good, right? I definitely love this book. But yeah, if you do read it, be prepared to cringe a lot. Number 7, The Healthy Snack. You picked this up because it was good for you. Pick a book that you read to improve yourself in some way. One book that I find myself going back to time and time again to remind myself of certain messages, which is kind of interesting because this book can be interpreted a couple different ways. And depending on my mood, sometimes I take it one way and sometimes I take it the other. But it's definitely a nice, healthy read, I think. And that is The Giving Tree by Shel Silversteing. Number 8, Juicy. Like an orange or a watermelon, some snacks have plenty of pieces to share. Pick a book that is profoundly shareable, a book you want others to read. I have 2 of them, and I tried so hard to pick one, and I just can't do it, so I'm going to tell you about both of them. The first one I read almost a year ago, and that is Enduring Love by Ian McEwan. This is a book I think anybody would like. It's got a very original storyline. It's hard to put down. I was constantly questioning what was going on. I think I gave it 4 stars. But after I read it and more time went by, my rating kept getting higher and higher because I couldn't stop thinking about it. And what's better than a book you can't put down or stop thinking about after you finish it? And then the other one that I always recommend to people and want everyone to read is Razorblade Tears. This is a book that made me laugh. It made me cry. It ripped my heart out and stomped on it. But it was also very fast-paced and it was hard to put down. I think I actually read this book in one day, which for me is pretty unusual. And there are some messages in here also on top of all of that that I found very beautiful, which is give people a chance. Don't judge people. Don't judge a book based on its cover, kind of thing. Actually give people a chance and try to understand them because you just might love them and they might be a wonderful person that adds a lot of beauty to your life. And when a book has that much to it, it can make me laugh, cry, teach me some life lessons. I think that's pretty beautiful. It's also got a lot of information about regrets, grief, loss, revenge. I gave this book 5 stars. I still give it 5 stars. S.A. Cosby came out with another book before this one that I read, Blacktop Wasteland. And I did really enjoy it. I even gave that one 5 stars as well. But I still like this one a lot more, if that makes sense. And number 9, the snack pack. Everyone wins when you swap and share your snacks. Tag some friends to do the same. I feel like everyone has done this one already, the does tags that I know of. If you're watching and you haven't done it and you would like to do it, go ahead and do it. Tag me and then I can watch your video. If you have any answers to any of these prompts that you would like to share with me, please let me know down in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night. Happy reading. Bye.